Did you know that Airbnb will actually help you make more money? One cool thing about Airbnb that you may not know is that if you have a big enough account, they'll actually assign you a market manager, which is an account rep for you to get individual help and advice from. And it's actually an employee of Airbnb that aids you in making more money with your account. And it's a huge perk because you get someone on the inside of Airbnb to help boost your performance using Airbnb. So they know all the algorithm levers to pull and all the tricks to get you more bookings, and they give it to you for free. But why would they do that? Well, because Airbnb is a commission-based platform and their corporate revenue comes from bookings on the platform. So the more bookings and the higher revenue they can help you earn as a host, they also earn as a company. Now, Airbnb can only make money in three basic ways. One is more listings, they increase the number of hosts. Number two is more bookings, they can increase the number of guests. Or three is they can produce higher margin bookings. And the Airbnb market manager position was created to focus on the third, generate higher margin bookings. So they're commission based to earn more when they help their accounts earn more. And they represent their market territory and are really experts in the market trends and how their accounts can earn more profit with the changes and the updates made on their listings and in the settings on the platform. And in early 2022 was the first time I heard about an Airbnb account rep because that's when I got mine, but they've been around for a couple years now. And at that time, the adoption rate of the platform for both hosts and guests had been going down. It was still positive, but it was growing less rapidly compared to what they're used to. And I think that's part of the normal business life cycle. But a declining growth rate was a problem for Airbnb because this trend started right after Airbnb went public in December of 2020. And as host adoption tapered off, they had to find another way to keep increasing their profits. Like, think about it. They rode that wave of crazy adoption rates, like increasing revenue and exploding awareness and performance to go public and do their IPO. And then the very things that generated all that buzz and make them worth $47 billion at their IPO, those started to fall off. So they had to implement a new way to keep increasing their revenue. So introducing the Airbnb market managers or the host account reps. In my opinion and in my experience with them, when you might expect bad support from the people in the Philippines that they have with their support team, these account reps blew it out of the water. Like, I've been very impressed with their willingness to help push you forward and actually get more bookings, earn more revenue. And it's really no surprise because they are compensated by building their book of business, both in revenue, like that higher margin bookings, and the portfolio size, the amount of listings that they manage. So those are the main levers they have to make the company more money. Now, in essence, every employee in every business is a position created to make the business run either more sustainably or increase the revenue that the company can generate. And the Airbnb account reps do both of those things for Airbnb. So now probably at this point, you're asking yourself if everyone can get an account rep. The unfortunate answer for some, and the good news for some, or for with those with account reps, is that you have to meet a threshold of revenue generated on the platform. I've heard about different things and I've not been able to find in search like an answer to this question, but from the context of talking with my account rep, I think it's somewhere in the range of hosts with revenues of 1 to 2 million generated on the platform. And in my case, with my current portfolio, since selling the last business and potentially a way for you to get one is if you have a big property under contract to help them bring that on and generate the extra revenue that that property will generate when you get all those listings live. That's what I'm going through with them right now, but they're also helping on the smaller portfolio that I had left after the sale. So what are the benefits of an Airbnb rep? A big one is professional host support, and this is a team that sits in the States, so it's not a foreign call center, and they help you with reviewing disputes and resolutions and really anything you need as a host. Another is advanced insights on your listings, so you can go in, buy your listing, right, and say, hey, why is this performing the way it is? How can we get more views here? How can we generate more bookings? Like, what is it in the settings that's causing this listing to underperform? And they'll help you make those tweaks to get your listings and thus your portfolio performing better. And the other is the algorithm hacks, just the things as they roll out, right? There's new features, or what are you maximizing: your price, your quality, and your availability, the three big factors in the algorithm. How can you maximize that and really hack the algorithm to generate more revenue? Now, the disclaimer is they won't tell you the exact inputs into the algorithm, which I don't think they might not even know those things. They're like, that's kept secret. That's like the recipe to Coca-Cola, right? They're not putting that out there. But they know the factors that, the levers that you can pull to generate more bookings, and they will absolutely share those with you. Now, what all this looks like in practice is a monthly meeting and email support, like whenever you need it, for questions. So you can just email them, but you have that structured meeting as well. And on those monthly meetings, we get deep into the data and performance metrics from my account. Like, we'll spend a lot of time in the Airbnb Insights tab and going over the different levers that we have to pull to increase our performance. And we'll look at the opportunities that we're missing and game plan how we can make our listings more appealing, show up in more searches, and thus get us more bookings. And most of these opportunities you complete are one-time things. Like, for example, we had a handful of listings that did not have a laptop-friendly workspace checked on that listing. Now, that amenity box was left blank because they did not have desks in the listings, but all those listings had dinner tables or kitchen tables, and our rep told us that was 100% okay to count that as a laptop-friendly workspace. And by checking that amenity box, and this really goes for all your amenity opportunities with those boxes, by checking that, we'd show up in more searches and outcompete other hosts who'd skip over those little things. And we did the same thing with identifying easy things that we could add to our listings to charge more or increase our occupancy. And these are things like adding cribs or high chairs to our big houses that families often book. So it's those little tweaks. And because of that, I'm having the best year on record in my personal portfolio due to implementing those little updates that in aggregate make a big difference. So we have a core value in my company. It goes, small details make a big difference. And it's absolutely true. And this is a really good example of it. And here are the things that I learned that I think will be helpful for you as well. First is reviews, or your quality, is the most important thing. There's a couple of big reasons why I've learned that the overall property rating, or the OPR, matters so much, and I'll get into that next. But it's the quality of the place and the stay that you provide to your guests. And a big part of it is psychological for guests, and that's important to understand as well. Like, just like a Rotten Tomatoes score for a movie, the ratings for a listing from other guests that have stayed in that listing make a big impact on your future bookability. So much that if you have a bad review, like 4.6 and below, like, I'd recommend deleting your listing, upgrading your space, and put better guest satisfaction and review request systems in place, and then recreate that listing and start fresh with a clean slate and start generating better reviews. And here are the 4 big reasons that your reviews matter so much. So the first is ADR potential. Now, with a higher ranking, you have a higher ADR potential because there's a willingness among guests to pay more for the perceived higher quality, right? If you're getting a nicer place, all things equal, you're going to pay more for that product. Next is rebooking and brand reputation. So delivering an excellent quality stay in your price tier also establishes your brand reputation with guests, both online and even more so by word of mouth. So that's going to lead to more people from outside sources booking your place because of the quality of reservation that you have fulfilled already with your current guests, and that translates into getting future good guests. Another is your booking conversion. So your reviews are social proof, and travelers will be more willing to book listings that have a history of positive reviews from other guests to give them that peace of mind. The evidence is in the reviews. And the last one is your search visibility and ranking. So the algorithm assesses, a lot of different characteristics to evaluate quality, including reviews of the listing and listing characteristics, but higher quality means your listing will be more visible to travelers. So those are the big factors of why your reviews are so important, really the most important thing. And that's going to lead into the next point here. Superhost status matters. So Superhost is a big algorithm boost and affects not only how you should show up in search, but how guests view you and their comfort level in booking with you. So I kind of knew this before, but I didn't know how profound the difference was. So here's some pretty telling stats for you guys. So listings rated over 4.75 had a booking rate 10 to 15% above listings ranked in the lower fours. And here's a big one. 4.7 is the average host ranking, and 60% of hosts have a rank equal to or greater than 4.8, which is the superhost mark. So that means over half of the hosts are superhosts. So it isn't so much that superhost helps you a ton as not having superhost hurts you. Like, you become a part of this small, unranked, unsearched, optimized minority, and this is not a group you want to be in. And another is that listings with an average of 80% 5-star reviews received 65% of the total bookings on Airbnb. Like, that's across the whole globe. So 2/3 of the bookings are going to highly rated listings. And if you aren't meeting that threshold, like, you have a small 1/3 cutout of the market to capture. So your upside is not great. Again, Superhost and your reviews really funneling how you show up in search, how guests perceive you, how you get clicked, and all the things that go into people finding you, trusting you, booking with you. So another thing I learned is that the refundable booking option gives you a boost. So this one is actually has a time limit on it and will change over time. And I say the refundable booking option here is because that this is one of the new features that Airbnb is currently testing. And I might not have thought about this without my Airbnb rep telling me, but Airbnb wants to test this new features. Like, whenever there's a new summer or winter release, Airbnb adds features to the platform, and it gives listings that use those features a little boost to incentivize adoption, because they need that data to test, whether or not this new feature is a positive or a negative for the platform. And something to know is that the more hosts adopt the feature, the less pronounced that boost becomes, because they have more people using it and they get more data. So early adoption by you is important when there's new features. Like, test them, try them, test it out, see reviews, and see how it changes things for you. And just like thinking about this refundable option, it's really not that bad, because guests get a 10% discount, yes, but you lock in that revenue no matter what. Like, you're protected from a cancellation, and the payout is guaranteed when you have that option selected. And in the case of a guest cancellation, you have the chance to make that listing available again and then get it rebooked to earn 200% on the listing. So it's definitely worth experimenting with it to see if it's worth it for you. So another thing I learned is that the algorithm picks up on discounts, or more so, how the algorithm picks up on discounts. So the Airbnb algorithm does give you a boost if you discount your listing, but it gives different boosts for different levels of discounts. And the steeper the discount, the greater the perk is for you. If you think about it, it makes total sense. Like, we know, based on what Airbnb has published, that the big 3 factors that go into the algorithm are price, availability, and quality. So with price, the cheaper you are, the more you're going to appeal to guests who are the revenue drivers of the platform. They'll make those bookings and generate more revenue for Airbnb. So that's really important. So now, getting into the discounts, a 10% discount gives you a new line on your price and a strike through the original price to show guests it's discounted, while 15% gives you that and a call out on your listing page, and 20% gives you all of that and pushes you out in an update emails to guests about listings with great promotions. So the steeper you go up with your discount, the more exposure your listing is going to get, right? Views, clicks, bookings. And I wouldn't suggest that you just drop all of your prices by 20%, but for unbooked days in the next 30 days, you can try this, and then using the Insights tab, monitor how your reviews go up based on the change, and then find what works best given a date range of unbooked nights. And just test one change at a time so you know what is actually working. Like, if you have multiple and you'll have confounding variables and not really know what the impact is. So you can set this in your discounts and your daily and weekly discounts in your listing settings, or on manual discounts from your multi-calendar page given a specific date range. And these discounts are great revenue management tricks, as well as listing optimization tricks to get more views, more clicks, more bookings, and more revenue. And that is the virtuous cycle. And another piece to this whole puzzle is extend your availability. So if you're limiting your booking window and cutting off your availability to a smaller time frame, like only accepting bookings 3 to 6 months out in the future, you're losing out on. So my account rep recommended 12 months of availability so that you show up in the maximum number of searches, and then also extend the maximum stay for the same reason. So doing so will open up your calendar for more potential guests to find you when they are searching. And if you're scared that you may get bookings too far in the future at low prices and miss out on revenue, just manage your rates better. Like, revenue management has to be a focus for you as a professional host. You have to put all the pieces together to properly maximize your earning potential. Like, if you won't, another host will, and they'll get the booking that you could have had. And just think about that, and then take the steps you need to outperform your competition. And you can also do that by liking and subscribing to the channel. And another piece is there's an algorithm boost for turning on the short-term cleaning fee. Much like the refundable booking option, Airbnb wants to test this so it incentivizes hosts using it by giving a boost to those hosts who do use it. And this is a silent boost, like they're not going to tell you, but they'll do it because, again, they need that data. And think about this one. Would you rather have a profit on the cleaning fee or more bookings? Like, if you lower your cleaning fee and attract more bookings in, that's an easy win for you, and I'd take that all day. That's because lower prices shown in the search results might help increase bookings, and that opportunity to trade price and flexibility is more attractive to guests, and then they book your place. So I've yet to use this one, but it's next up on my list. And I was curious to see what kind of view increase I would get on the listings that I implement this on. So what I'll do is make the short-term cleaning fee active in the settings and then monitor my views before the change in the Insights tab, wait for a week, and then just monitor it weekly after that change. And you can do the same to test changes that you make on your listings to see what kind of impact they have before rolling them out to your whole portfolio. All right, so here's my conclusion on having an Airbnb account manager. For one, for me, I think going bigger helps not just your own sanity with the scale that you can build into your portfolio, because with more revenue, you can outsource more and focus on the things that you do best or that bring the most value. But it also helps you gain access to resources you would otherwise not have access to. Like, and I'm not saying that getting an Airbnb account manager should be your goal, but it's sure a good side perk for building a portfolio and becoming important enough to have an Airbnb insider on your team. And I think there are so many benefits to scaling, like those just being a few, and obviously making more money for yourself is a good one. And for the past 3 years, I've been focusing on boutique hotels as a way to skip the small game of, buying house after house, trying to assemble my portfolio deal by deal, but instead close one boutique hotel with a bunch of units all at once. So that way I can focus more time on the quality of my portfolio than a bunch of acquisitions that only make incremental gains. And yes, a handful of STR houses can get you out of your job, but a handful of boutique hotels can change your life. If you guys want to keep scaling your own portfolio, I have free resources on my website at blakedaly.com, and the link is also in the description below. And I also started a boutique hotel focused mastermind where I brought together an awesome group of people with big STR portfolios themselves, all looking to scale to the next level with boutique hotels. And they'll get access to everything I use in my own business, like how to find and underwrite boutique hotels and all of my operation systems that I use myself. And I'll be looking to open that up to more people in the future. And if you're interested, please reach out. It's a group exclusively for boutique hotels and big commercial STR deals, and how to find, fund, and operate them like a pro. If you guys have questions you want answered by an Airbnb account manager, right? Somebody inside Airbnb that knows a lot more, put it in the comments below and I'll ask it on my next call with mine and post below for updates and answers to your guys' questions. I want to try to help and see, whatever you guys are dealing with your business, how can I learn from that, right? Because if you have that question, maybe I have the same one and can ask it to that rep and help everybody here. If you guys enjoyed this content, please do me a favor and hit the like button. I put this free stuff out here in hope that it helps others, and the thumbs up tells YouTube it's a good video and will push it to more people that will get value from it. And if you want, subscribe and keep learning all things boutique hotels and STRs at scale. I'm working on a big hotel in the Tennessee Smokies right now that I'll share more updates on as we get closer to closing, or at least get the financing commitment from the bank. I want to make sure we're progressing actually to closing that. And the whole project will be on here and will be captured so we can get updates on that in the future. And with that, keep grinding, and I'll see you guys on the next one.